What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Of course, Dr. Umar Johnson is getting back into it with white people, which he normally doesn't do that, but okay, he's going to do it today. It has a lot to do with what he had to say about Eminem not being the best rapper of all time. A lot of these people in the white community were upset. Even you had some black people who were upset. They thought that he is the best rapper of all time. And so how could Dr. Umar Johnson say something like this when clearly they feel Eminem is the best rapper of all time? Of course, I would never waste my time even considering talking about something this stupid. But okay, Dr. Umar Johnson clearly doesn't have anything better to do, like, build a school or, do something for those black kids he said he was going to do. It's fine. He's not going to do that. It's okay. We understand, Doc. You want to be a loser. But he has time to clap back all the time, because if he can do that, then we don't have to worry about the school that he said he was going to build. But be it as it may, I'm all for the S and giggles, right? So here's the clap back that Umar gave to, as he would call it, the whiteys, and then I'm going to come back.
The reason I'm going live tonight is I want to address the Neanderthal nation. I'm going live tonight. I want to address the Neanderthal nation. Oh, yes, I do. I want to talk black to the Caucasians who have been stalking me for the past 48 hours. I want to talk to the Neanderthal nation tonight, the Caucasian community. You have been cyber stalking me for 48 hours, and I don't mind. I don't mind. You can continue to do it as long as you want, because I don't care if the opinion of every Caucasian is to the contrary. I say what I mean to say, and I stand on everything I say 10 toes down. But let me say this to the Caucasian community. Let me say this to the Caucasian community. When I look at your anger, when I look at your rage, when I look at the responses from America's Caucasian community over this issue of Eminem being the GOAT of hip hop, and let me say this, I have nothing personal against Eminem. My comments on the Joe Budden podcast had nothing to do with Mr. Marshall Mathers personally, and I want Mr. Marshall Mathers to understand that Dr. Umar Ifatunde harbors no personal ill will towards you. This is not personal. This is business. This is not personal. This is business. Eminem, I want you to hear me, young man. This is not personal. This is business. You are a talented musician, lyricist, producer. You seem like you are an okay guy. You've never done nothing to me, and you've never done anything that I personally witnessed to be worthy of condemnation. So my comments are not personal. They apply to any non-African. This is about business, the business of protecting the integrity of African culture. I said my comments on the Joe Budden podcast was about business, not personal. The business of protecting the sacredness, authenticity, and integrity of African culture. I said that no non-African can ever be the best of anything in African culture. You can't be the best cook of African food. You can't be the best rapper of African hip hop. You can't be the best singer. You can't be the best priest of African culture. Nothing we create can a non-African be the best at. First of all, it makes absolutely no sense at all. I don't even see how an African can come to the conclusion that a non-African can be the best at anything when we are the oldest people. We are the first people, and we are the most numerous people. So when you say a non-African is better at X, Y, and Z than a member of the race, you're saying that this person can do this better than 2 billion Africans. Or you're saying not only can they do it better than 2 billion Africans on the planet, you're saying they can do it better than all of the billions of Africans that have ever walked the planet Earth.
So let me just say this. As a pro-black, I have to stand with Dr. Umar on this. I have to stand with Dr. Umar on this. Let me do it another third time. I have to stand with Dr. Umar on this. Sorry, I'm trying to get my Dr. Umar impression. So I gotta stand with him on that, right? I largely believe what he's talking about is true. Here's the problem. If you ask Dr. Umar, who is the greatest basketball player of all time, he will say Michael Jordan. Why will he say Michael Jordan? Because it's true that Michael Jordan is the best basketball player of all time. Nobody can deny that. Who created basketball? It's credited to James Naismith. That's what the history books are going to show, that he created basketball. So a non-black person can never be number one in anything that an African creates. But he's going to say, but blacks can always be number one in anything that the whites can create. And I'm going to tell you exactly what reason he's going to use with that. Well, we are the original man. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, but because we are the original man, I know he's going to go to this. Everything comes through us. So we are the original people. We father everybody else. I know he's going to use that. Okay. So then what I'd like to know, can white people say, well, since you are the original men and we are your children, we are technically black too, so we can be number one? Like, do you understand like how these things make no sense? Like how pointless these arguments are? You know, it doesn't make sense. I'm going to tell you why. Largely because blacks are at the bottom right now because of whatever. We know racism and white supremacy and all that stuff too, but also lack of our own productivity. This is why we have time to even engage in these sorts of conversations in the first place, which we shouldn't, but we have time. So now the real question needs to be, Dr. Umar Johnson, where is the school that you promised us? Okay. We need to stop having such pointless conversations about who is the greatest of all time in hip hop. And if, you know, so we can just get to the point where like why you didn't build the school. I think that's something that we are much more interested in discussing. Don't you think so? I think so. I think that for you should want to talk about that, bro. I mean, we're waiting on that. That's what we want to know. Like, hey, Doc, what's going on, bro? Where is the money for the school? Okay. Then we can talk about things that don't make sense like this later on. Do you get what we're saying, Doc? Yeah. We could talk about that later on when you actually produce this goddamn school that you've never produced. So let's not get distracted here, buddy. Let's stay on the case here. We really want to stay on the case here. Like, we're gonna be honest here, okay? So guys, what do you think? It's your boy Shit Duke Jackson back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I appreciate you for all that you do. Scare the bell. We're out.